बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। नूर मौलाना शाह करीमुल हुसैनी हाज़िर इमाम। या मौला मेहरबान मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। हस्बुनल्लाह व निअमल वकील व निअमल मौला व निअमन नसीर। Ya Mawla Meherban, we have gathered here, Mawla, to seek pearls of wisdom from your Farameen's, Mawla. Ya Mawla, please help us, Mawla. Help us truly understand your guidance, Mawla. Let us dive deep into the concepts you present, Mawla. You give it to us repeatedly, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban, Ya Mawla Meherban. Please help us, Mawla. Ya Mawla, Ya Mawla. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen, Shukran Lillah, Alhamdulillah. So we will continue with our Farman of Farman number 40, and we had reached to a paragraph which was very, very important paragraph, and let me take you back again. So this Farman of 31st August 1899. Let us recite the salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. રૂહ બદનમાં છે તે કેદખાનામાં છે. મોમિનને વાજબ છે કે કેદખાનામાંથી રૂહને કાઢીને સારી જગ્યામાં રાખે. રૂહ જ્યાં સુધી બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી કેદમાં છે. તે જોવામાં આવશે નહીં. રૂહ બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી તે કાંઈ પણ જોઈ શકશે નહીં. જ્યારે બદનમાંથી નીકળશે ત્યારે સર્વે જગ્યાઓ જોશે. જ્યાં સુધી બદનમાં છે ત્યાં સુધી આગળ પાછળ આજુબાજુ કાંઈ પણ જોઈ શકશે નહીં. મોમિને એ ખ્યાલ જોઈએ કે કેદખાનામાંથી નીકળી જાઉં તો બહેતર છે. દુનિયામાં રહેવાવાળા માટે દુનિયા જહન્નમ છે અને રૂહ બદનમાં છે તે બંદીખાનામાં છે. જો તમે અક્કલવાળા હો તો આ બાબતનું ખ્યાલ કરો. અમારે કહેવાની જરૂર ના હોય. તમે તમારી અક્કલથી સમજો. તમે સમજો કે રૂહ શું છે તો તમને ખબર પડે કે તમારો રૂહ બદનમાં કેદ છે અને ત્યાં સુધી તે ક્યાંય પણ જોઈ શકશે નહીં. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. So today we are going to only focus on these two paragraphs, and believe me, in these two paragraphs there are so many concepts, and I think we will only touch barely on one concept if we can even do justice to it. I was reading the statistics of USA, and interestingly, the current statistics says that there are only 40% of our children who can read at basic level. Teens, 60% of teens, they cannot read at their grade level. Like reading has been gone. It's leaving children in the nation here. And the biggest reason is that they are all onto the social media and technology. They are into technology and social media. They cannot read even their own at grade level. I was talking to some youths, Ismaili youths, and they were saying that they are attending Dr. Sahib and Rashida Sahiba's session, and they worry. They worry that, they are old couple, and those who are teaching these talimat, we are not going to stay here forever. How do we make our youths understand and realize and read these talimat and understand. And it is a worry. It is a worry in those who know what they know. I mean, I personally know very little. I'm still learning, but I'm not young. And it is a worry that we need to transfer whatever we know to our children. And when you read Farmans like this, you know, this is so crucial to our talimat to understand. And again, today my objective is to help you see things from Quran, and I'll take you on to the journey to make you all my friends in doing this task, in taking this knowledge to our youths. How can we do that? When we join hands together as all adult in the Jama'at, we become learner students, start learning, start opening up the books, reading books in front of our children, moving away from the phones and tablets, reading. And if we are using our tablets, it is for reading, and we are reading aloud so they can listen. Interestingly, the statistics says that those children from their young age, if they are read to loudly 3 times per week, they will become readers. At least they'll be better readers. So, meaning again, wherever we are, whoever we are, and if we don't start now, today, it will be a challenge, and we are leaving our next generation probably in a better economical status because, we are history, we were poor. But is that what is needed? That they should have worldly knowledge or worldly comfort? What about this knowledge? What about their soul? So today the plan is a little bit different, but let me first explain this in English so everybody is with us. Imam is guiding us that when the soul is in the body, it is in the cage. So we had discussed this paragraph, but I'm reviewing it and then we'll talk about this paragraph as well. So soul, when it is in the body, it is in the cage, it is in the prison. And Mola says that it is compulsory for a moment to take this soul out of this prison and to keep it in a good place. Until the soul which is in the prison, it is in the until the soul which is in the body, it is in the prison. And therefore, the soul is not able to see anything. Again, Imam is repeating that until the soul is in the body, the soul is not able to see anything. Until and unless when you get the soul out of your body, then the soul will be able to see what is in front, what is behind, what is right side, what is on the left side. And then Imam adds that wherever soul wants to see, it will be able to see. Then Imam says, Mubin the moment must think that I need to get out of this prison. And remember, when we are talking about getting the soul out of body, we are not talking about physical death. We are talking about spiritual death. We are talking about getting soul out during ibadat time. And then Imam adds here that in this world, those who are in this world, for them, this world is like a hell. And soul, which is in the body, it is again in the cage, bandi khana, it is in kind of cage. Bandi khana, the word bandi khana, which is different from kaid khana, bandi khana meaning the word banda. And the word banda is from slavery, from gulami, right? Bandi khana meaning that this cage is of slavery, like we are slaves. Until the soul is in the physical body, it is like, being a slave to this world, to this body. And then Imam says, those who are intellectual, those who are wise, those who are intelligent, they will think about it. They will reflect about it. And then Imam explains that I do not have to tell you this. I do not have to remind you this, that you need to think about it. Then Imam says that Those who again are intellectual, use your intellect to understand what I'm saying to you. Please, Imam says, Tame samjho. Imam is emphasizing the way Imam is using the word, Tame samjho ke ru sunche. Understand, find out what is the soul. Then only you will know that your soul is in prison when it is in the body. And that's why the soul will not be able to see anything. The soul will not be able to see anything. So very interesting, ways Imam is guiding again and again, repeatedly, making us realize the importance of the soul. And we just had talked about, seeing in front, behind us, uh, right side, left side, in context of days of Allah. SP Nasir Khusro has told us that every direction actually symbolizes a natik. We have had 6 natik. On the 7th day, Kayam will surround us with the light. Again, we have talked about this in Ayah Noor as well, that Prophet Muhammad has taught us. Through Imam Jafar Sadiq, we have learned about Ayah Noor, which Prophet Muhammad used to recite, seeking and praying for himself to receive the light for his 16 directions. All these concepts are here present. But again, those who are not intellectuals, those who don't use their intellect to learn these things, they will not know what Imam is teaching. So let me today share some slides with you, because I felt it is so important for us to realize that we must understand. We must understand what Imam is teaching us. So somehow I'm not able to show you the whole screen. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. So yes, we are studying Farman. Our session is for Farmans, and we are on Farman 40th of August 31st, 1899, and we read the 2 paragraphs. And what I said, let me just highlight these key points. Okay. These key points in reality are concepts in itself. And believe me, if we just take one concept, we might end up spending months to understand, to discuss, or read books to be able to understand one concept. And we can't do that. We don't have that much time. And we realize what we are realizing, that when Imam gives us this Faramin, he's expecting us, he's saying, he's guiding us that use intellect, use time to understand these concepts. What are these concepts? First, foremost is the soul. What is soul? What is the prison and the cage? We just talked about Bandi Khana, explanation of the word Bandi Khana, the place of slavery, being caged. And then Imam says, go to good place. Rune sari jagya par rakho, going to good place. What is that good place? Is it paradise? Then those who are readers of Farman, they will tell me that Imam in other Farman has said that paradise also is a prison. So where are we going? Then with knowledge, I hope that you remember we have discussed in different classes that it is to be close to Imam, it is to be with Imam. And when we understand that concept, we realize actually in reality there are darjat. There are darjat in paradise as well. And if we are seeking closeness to Imam, wanting to be blessed with his didar, there are darjat. So which darja are we trying to reach? What is the good place for us? Let me give you a worldly example. If you, let's say, if you started fresh, new as a youth or young or new in the country, whatever, probably you started with apartment. Then you bought a house and you bought a business and you bought this and you bought that, and you say, oh, now I'm at a good place. What good place are you deciding for your soul? Do we know that there are good places? If paradise it's a prison itself, or let's say there are darjat in paradise, which paradise do we want to reach? What does it mean? It's a concept in itself, good place. Unable to see, meaning they are blind. Now blindness is a whole concept. And inshallah, today I intend to discuss this because this is the first thing. This is the first level. Again, first level is not limited. There is, it is such an in-depth concept because blindness is also in darjat. Blindness is also in darjat. So do not undermine that, oh, I'm in knowledge, so I'm not blind. People can be in the knowledge and be blind because there are levels of blindness. Then Imam says, can see when soul is out. What is to be seen? What is that seeing when the soul is out? It is a concept in itself. See all places, all directions. Now, one is seeing, another is seeing here, 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 every direction. Another concept. So, one is not being blind, being able to see. Seeing has levels, and then seeing in directions, as it is also a concept. Then Imam says, khayal. You must reflect upon it. And the proper term is khayal. And again, those who attend book reading sessions, regularly and they are on the journey, they will know khayal is actually alluding to this angel, archangel, Jibrail, who used to bring revelations. So don't think when you think or read the word khayal, it is thinking. It is much more than that. Again, I would say it is not just concept, but concepts, because you can't understand one thing on its own, standing alone. You have to understand different concepts to be able to understand what is it that Imam is asking me to do. Yes, it starts with thinking. It starts with first reflecting, but then it is not limited to the physical reflection, the word reflection we think of or we understand. It is much more than that. World is hell. Do we think of it as a hell? We love this world very much. We are very happy in this world. Then what is hell? Why would the world be hell? Wise can see. Intellectuals can see. So wisdom, we got to seek. How does intellect is received? We all have intellect. We all have brain. We all have mind. But intellect is needed. We do use our intellect for the worldly growth and benefit. Have we ever used our intellect to become wise in this knowledge? And Imam says only wise can see, not all. Imam did not say that all can see, only wise can see. And remember, wisdom is a lost property of a moment. This is a hadith of a Prophet Muhammad, that it is a lost property. So if we are smileys, which we are, and we call ourselves Mubin, then it is our lost property. How much property we have worked hard and collected, and this property is that property which is lost, which was guided to us by our Prophet. Again, when we read Farman's, Imam says intellect. The other word for intellect is wise, being wise, and wise is from wisdom. Do we have that wisdom knowledge? Which we have lost it. It is a lost property of a moment. So have we even decided or put ourselves on the path to seek to find that property which we have lost? And those who do not use intellect, again, they are in cage and they are not able to see. So just to focus on these two concepts, I have chosen Quranic verses, and what I did, I said, let me just be ambitious and look at all the verses which talks about blindness. And if I were to show you the list, I have not been able to go through the whole Quran. I started with chapter 2 and I skipped few of the verses and I reached to chapter 17 and there were 11 verses, skipping some difficult ones. I have just reached 17th chapter in Quran. How many chapters are in Quran? Have we studied all the verses related to this concept? So what am I saying here? What am I expecting? What I'm trying to teach today? That when we are studying these Faramins, we really have to reflect what Imam is teaching. And of course, that reflection cannot be powerful if we are not a reader, or we are not studying, or we are not attending book study sessions. Let me be very clear. If we are not attending book study session, the wisdom which is our lost property, we will not gain. Because book study sessions will motivate you to go to the book and read for yourself. And those who are doing pre-reading and post-reading, definitely they are growing in their ruhaniyat. In the beginning, it all starts with lectures. You are attending lectures because you're trying to understand the basic concepts. But slowly and gradually you are taken to read Farmans, read books, and to reflect and understand the concepts which are given in the lecture. Now, when we are studying these Farmans, the way I showed you the whole list of these concepts, these key points, all these are present in Quran. Imam is teaching us the guidance of the Quran, because Imam, his role is Mawawile Quran. He is the teacher of the Quran. He teaches us the Ta'wil. Prophet brought the Tanzil. Today, Imam being present, Hazir and Mawjood, present Imam, his desire is that we use our intellect to learn these Quranic concepts which Imam has been giving to us in the Farman. Because today, Imam has provided us with schools, university, colleges, ways and means to be financially stable to study worldly knowledge. We are able to read. Our forefathers were probably, they could not read. So there was no expectations. Today it is an expectation. So imagine just, combining these two things. I could have separated them both actually, but combining these two, I have in front of you 11 verses. I don't know if you'll be able to finish it today. And do we want to finish it together in the group, or do you want to do it study on your own? Again, these are very individualized questions I'm asking, and you can tell me at the end, do we want to finish studying all these Quranic verses? Because are we doing justice to what we are learning? So let me take you to my Quranic online Quran, and we will go through each verses to understand what is being told to us. Remember, we are still studying Farman, but in the light of the Quran. So, all right. So this is Legacy Quran site. Remember, you can use any site you like, and we have translations by different scholars. We have different languages. So, if you're studying on your tablet, on your computer, you can study like that. You can have book. But we have to be a role model to our youngsters and read aloud so they can hear what we are studying and why we are studying. This is one of the verses which I commonly quote in lectures. This is Surah Baqarah, verse 80. Summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarjun. Deaf, dumb and blind, so they will not return. Yarjun is to return. Return where? Surely to the right path, to the Imam, to the paradise, whatever term you want to use. But we all have to return. This is not our place of living. This is just a part of a journey. We have to go back where we've come from. But then Quran teaches us that those who are deaf, dumb and blind, they will not return. Imam has mentioned this blindness to us. Do you know who is dumb? Those who don't listen, they will never, those babies who never listen, they will never be able to speak. It is through listening that they talk. So listening, when you listen to lectures, you repeat, you understand, you use your tongue, it comes out of your tongue. And when you see, when you read, use all senses to be able to become those wise people, intellectuals. But then there are those who remain deaf, dumb and blind. They cannot. What will they do? They will not return. Meaning what? Where they will go? Where the soul will go? And we have a whole book on what is soul. Nachis has covered it. Dr. Sahib, Rishta Sahib has covered it. So we are not discussing soul here. We are just discussing what will happen to those who are blind. And remember, I did tell you that blindness is not just to say, oh, they are not listening to lectures, they are not in this path, so they are blind. I am not. Mind you, blindness is also in darjat. There are people who will come to this journey and then they'll become very comfortable. They will not think of going further, working hard. Or they come and go, come and go, come and go, and they keep complaining. Oh, why don't I progress? Why don't I progress? Do you not know the answer? So, all these questions are given in this verse if we were to reflect. We just read and don't reflect, it doesn't help us. So let's look at the same chapter, next verse, 2 by 171. And let's have different translations open for us so we can, understand it all, like read and see. So this is, again, this verse has same word, sumun, bukmun, umyun, fahum, la ya'akelun. So let me open the transliteration. I didn't do that earlier, Mafi. So if you look at these words, they are repeated, but here the end is different. It says la yaqilun. What does that mean, la yaqilun? They do not understand. They do not understand. Therefore, they have no sense. They do not understand. They do not understand. इन्हें अकल नहीं है. Yaqilun, aqilun, aqil. Those who understand Urdu, Arabic, they'll be able to understand that how I reach to akal. The word akal is hidden here. Again, let me repeat. La yaqilun, aqilun, aqil, akal. The word akal is hidden in this word. Those who do not use their intellect, they don't use their akal. Do we not have akal? We all have akal. Where are we using our akal? So in this verse, Shah International says, the example of those who disbelieve is like that of one who shouts at what hears nothing, but calls and cries cattle or sheep, deaf, dumb, and blind, so they do not understand. So here, of course, it is talking about kafirun, right? Disbelievers, those who have not believed on the message of Allah, on the Prophet, right? No matter how much you tell them, but they are like actually cattle and sheep. They are like animals. And they are like deaf and dumb. They don't have intellect because animals don't have intellect. Animals have instincts. Animals have instincts. Animals do not have intellect. Today, researchers, and when they study and they talk about, penguin has intellect or camel has intellect, you hear these things by, researchers. What they don't realize that, yes, or even dogs, people say, oh, dogs are very smart, very intelligent. They have instincts. Humans have intellect. It's a very, very minor level of intellect which we see in these animals, and we get very surprised, fascinated by it. But if you were to truly study this knowledge, you will realize the intellect humans have been given. The rational souls, animals do not have. Humans have it. And remember, this verse, when it talks about disbelievers, at that time there were disbelievers with Prophet, and Prophet was teaching them. But when we are studying today, we have to bring these verses close to us, apply onto us, and ask, are we disbeliever? So again, if we don't reflect, we may say, oh, this is not applicable to us. But tell me, have you not read Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah telling us that you have two paths, either of animals or angels? So if this Quranic verse is talking about animals, so those who live the worldly life, following the carnal soul, working hard in this world, but only thinking of physical betterment, physical family, physical things, all physical worldly, and not thinking of tomorrow, of hereafter, they also fall into the category of disbelievers. Again, disbelievers have darjat. So yes, we are going to call ourselves Mu'minins because we are believer of Prophet, we are believers of Imam, we are believer of Quran as well. But then why would Imam tell us that we have two paths in front of us? Why would Quran tell us that? Because there are darajat of being disbelievers. Why they are like that? Because they don't think, they don't reflect, they don't use their intellect. Not that we are born without intellect. We are not deaf, dumb, and blind, but we behave like one. Why? Because we are happy living the animalistic life. So we understand this concept actually being taught to us in Farman. Imam, who is a teacher of Quran, and we always wonder how Imam is teaching. Imam has to take care of millions of mu'minins. And Imam says, we just read, Imam says that I don't have to tell you about these things. Meaning what? That you need to study and grow in knowledge? That you do need to work hard and find Quranic verses which relates to Farman? Or we are going to just read and reread Farmans only and never grow out of it to be able to read Quran? And our youths living in this world who say that we are Shia Imami Ismaili Muslim and don't know Quran and not able to refer to Quranic verses when understanding Farmans? What are we doing to ourselves and our generations? All right, so these are all questions for reflection. So let's move to the next verse, which is Surah Maida 5 by 71. And let's see what does this verse say about the same concept, right? And they thought there would be no punishment. So I did the transliteration. Look at this word fitna. I don't want to overwhelm those who do not know Quran. But look at this word fitna. And they thought there would be no punishment. So they became blind and deaf. Those who thought that there'll be no harm, there'll be no fitna, they have become blind and deaf. Then Allah turned to them in forgiveness. Then many of them became blind and deaf. Allah is seeing what they do. So, taking it very superficially, not going into the ta'wil of this, actually, there are many who think, oh, we are smileys. We pay the song. We go to Jama'at Khana. Harm will not come to us. So, willfully they remain blind and deaf. What people say normally? Allah Malik hai na? Have you heard of that term? Allah Malik hai na? When did Allah say that he is not a Malik? Mola છે ને મોલા રાખ બધું સંભાળી લેશે. When did Mola say that he will not take care of us? But then we have will to. If people willfully remain blind and deaf, we cannot blame him. He has given us intellect. Then he says, and afterward, Allah turned toward them. There are times when he turns towards, he gives us, his mercy. Think of these occasions. Think of Mola's talikas. He returns, like he gives us a chance to, benefit from his mercy. Now are many of them willfully blind and deaf. Even despite that, many will remain blind and deaf. They thought there would be no trial. So you need to understand, see, they are saying punishment in bracket, punishment outside, resulting, because they're struggling with understanding the word fitna. Those again who know Urdu, fitna is a, trial, afflictions. These are different words for fitna. One can explain in very many different ways. But I hope that you are seeing that in Arabic, the word fitna, how it has been understood. And we have talked about fitna in different ways. So if you relate, you can realize what blindness means. And they thought there would be no afflictions, there would be no trial. And when we talk about trial and tribulations in the physical worldly life, we go through so many tests. Despite all the trials, they think there'll be no trials afterwards. All the worldly problems when we receive, anything which happens to us, it is a chance for prayers. It is a chance to return to Him, to start seeking His help. Any issue we face, because everything which happens, there is a reason. There is a um, calling for us to respond to and to pay attention to our soul. But what happens? They become blind and deaf. Even after that, He turns to us mercifully. But people choose to remain blind. See what it says in Urdu, they have added a bit more, and I'll read here. और समझ बैठे कि कोई पकड़ ना होगी, बस अंधे बहरे बन बैठे, फिर अल्लाह ताला ने उनकी तौबा कबूल कर ली. Now, tawbah, let's look at in Arabic. Oh, there is word. Summa taba. So there is this here, summa taba. So the word taba, if you understand, it is from tawbah. Again, there, Arabic, it's a difficult language to be able to help you understand. But this is also word showing the root word of tawbah. And here we have forgiveness here, right? And Allah turned to them in forgiveness. In Urdu it says कि अल्लाह ने उनकी तौबा कबूल कर ली, right? इसके बाद भी इनमें से अक्सर अंधे बहरे हो गए. When Allah turned in mercy or accepted the forgiveness, when they were seeking forgiveness, right? In English, it doesn't say that. Allah relented to them. But they chose again to remain willfully blind and deaf. Allah is seeing. Nothing is hidden. So when we seek, when we go into trial and difficulty, we ask for help, He helps us. Mushkil aasan ho jati hai. And then again we forget. So again, what does He do? He sends another mushkil. Do you remember? And if we become awake, alert, then we will understand the mushkil, and we will not be trapped by that mushkil. We will not be deceived actually by those mushkil. Why am I saying this word mushkil? Because for Mu'min, there is no mushkil. For Mu'min, there is only calling. Do better. Then the mushkil may be brought by shaitan to make us deceive and blame our Imam that he doesn't help us. There are tests for Mu'minins. So can you imagine that whatever we say, the words we utter and not realize the impact of it. People say different things, but they do not keep up with those words. Then what would God do? He's watching us. He's seeing everything. Basiram bima. He says, Wallahu basiram. And indeed, Allah is watching. He's seeing. Basir is from sight. He's seeing us. And says, Bima ya maloon. And He sees what they do. He's watching us, whatever we do. All right, so this is another verse from chapter Surah Anam, Surah Al-Anam, the cattle. The name of the chapter is Al-Anam, which means the cattle. So let's look at this verse. What does, in this verse, we are learning. Oh Muhammad, so in bracket, we don't read the brackets. Say. So of course, this was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. It is very clear. When God is saying say, Allah is saying say, who it is He saying to? It is saying to the Prophet. I do not tell you that I have the depositories of Allah, or I know the unseen, nor do I tell you that I am an angel. I only follow what is revealed to me. Say, is the blind equivalent to the seeing? Then will you not give thought? So in reality, what is applicable to us is just this much, right? When we study Quranic verses, another challenge is that we do not go into, what we are not focusing on. Remain on the study, the concept what you're studying, study that. If you don't do that, you'll go into different directions and you'll lose the track of your study. And new, seekers, when they come to this knowledge, it is very commonly reported that that happens. And yes, it happens. But you have to keep in mind that if you decide to study a concept, stay on that and finish that, have that fulfillment feeling, and then write down that I want to come back to this verse as well and it's understand it, this part of this verse. And you can definitely do that. So today our focus is, say, Prophet is being told to say, is the blind equivalent to see? Would the blind and seers, can they be same? Do you not think? Do you not think about it? You know what he says? Kul, say, hal yastavi al-a'ma wal basir afla tatafakkarun. Tatafakkarun. Fakkarun is from fikr, reflect, thought. Why do you not think? Can the blind be same as seers? No, right? We understand that. We are like, this does not need any explanation. But then Quran says it. Are we, it's not smart enough to not understand this? Why would God say that in Quran? Why would Imam say that in Quran? In Farman? Why? Because we don't pay attention. We will know somebody walking with a stick, being blind, we would reach out to help them to cross the street or help them out, right? Because they're blind, they need help. Have you ever thought that we are blind ourselves and we need his help? And of course, those who are blind and those who are seeing, can they be equal? Can their status, can their darja be same? Do you not think? God is asking us. Say, are the blind and the one who sees equal? Will you not take thought, right? And, let's see Urdu. So it's very interesting how this Arabic scholars, translate, because there is such a discrepancies in their translations as well. And of course, we need to know Arabic to be able to distinguish, everything. आप कहते हैं कि अंधा और बीना कहीं बराबर हो सकता है, सो क्या तुम गौर नहीं करते? Why do you not reflect? Why do you not do fikr or reflection? See, in English, again, there are limited words, thought or understand or reflect. But in Urdu or Arabic, there is still richness. Fikr is much higher level of reflection, thinking, higher than thinking. So again, it's beauty of languages we have. Alhamdulillah, our Jama'at is, multilingual and we understand. But again, being in West, our children are losing the treasure of languages. And we have to. English, they will learn. Being in West, no matter what you do, they will learn English. We have to expose our children to our languages. I just yesterday met a young girl, non-smiley, actually not smiley, born in West, and she was telling me, somehow we started to talk about, I take classes in the evening, and I say, oh, I love Quran, and I didn't even know she was Muslim, because being in West, it sometimes is very difficult, their interfaith marriages and whatnot. And she says, yeah, I went to Pakistan actually, and I learned Urdu because I wanted to read Quran, so I learned Arabic. And I'm like, bravo. And I said, oh, I know some people who are on this path of learning Urdu and desiring to read Quran. So can you imagine that she was younger, probably in her 20s, how she was shown this path? Because friends I know, they are in 40s and 50s who are trying to do this. Do you have young children at home? Your grandchildren? Are you doing what you need to do to teach them languages? Is this not your khidmat? This is treasure we need to keep. Oh, I'm looking at the time. Oh, we are on the 5th verse only. Let me do one more and then we will stop, because every verse has a different level of learning for us. Like, it's taking us more than just, teaching or learning the concept of blindness. And this one talks about, but they denied him. but they denied him. So we saved him and those who were with him in the ship, and we drowned those who denied our signs. Indeed, they were a blind people. So this is talking about Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, Surah Al-Araf, the heights, right? It is talking about Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, that those who denied Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, who did not accept him. Who was Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam? You will say, oh, Natik, prophet. But Quran is saying our signs. Do you know that we were studying the book Jama'at Khana, and in that we learned that in the context of Jama'at Khana is his sign. Imam is his sign. His Natik is his sign. He sends his signs for us to recognize in afaq and anfus, within ourselves and outside, microcosm and macrocosm. 41 by 53, right? He does send signs for us to recognize. And we may seek answer. What are those signs outside? Is the tree a sign? Is animal a sign? Yes, there are signs for sure. Everything is a sign for those who reflect. But look at Quran. What Quran is saying? Who is the sign? Who? Living sign. The Prophet at his time was his sign. Those who denied him were drowned. Why? Because they were blind. But those who were not blind, he saved him and they were with him in the ship. Kishti Nijat. They were on this ark of Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam. So remember, we are just talking about blind. But blindness can be of generations, of days of Allah's. If we understand God's religion, Deen-e-Haq, it is one day in one circle. Starts from Hazrat Adam alayhi salam, first day, and it completes on the seventh day. These are his living signs. So blindness cannot be just today when we say October 19, 2024. The blindness could be behind us. And if we are not having knowledge, ilmul yaqeen, whatever has passed, has happened, we will not understand. We are blind to our backside. It is not blindness. I hope we understand. Blindness from the past, the ancient knowledge, blindness to that knowledge. If we are blind from the back, we will be blind in the future as well. We will not be able to understand future. If we don't understand the history, we will not be able to understand the future. So blindness could be in the past, it could be on the right side, it could be left side. And if you are paying attention, if you are connecting the dots here, we are referring to different natikan, different days of Allah. How do we remove this blindness? By seeking knowledge. First is ilmul yaqeen. First is ilmul yaqeen. Drink, sleep, eat, dream of knowledge only. That will take you to the next step. To be able to see in reality in our being with eyes, because we will be given these eyes. Ainul yaqeen. First is ilmul yaqeen, with knowledge, and then comes ainul yaqeen. These are, terms we are now frequently repeating it, and we think that we know it. No, these terms in itself is a huge, understanding which it seeks. We cannot, should not take it lightly, because ilmul yaqeen, it's a vast, project. And that is why those who are seekers, we have to really be very serious seekers. And of course, at the same time, when we are doing Zikr Ibadat Girya Uzari, it will help us. Maula's mercy is with us that it happens simultaneously. For young kids, it is probably learn knowledge. But for us, mature, when we have Isma Azam, when we understand the importance of Jamaat Khana, we understand the importance of Ibadat and Zikr and Girya Uzari, it happens simultaneously. Like we are learning knowledge, in our batin we will be shown things as well. Because he truly loves us. He rewards us. He says, if you come near one step, I'll come near 100 steps. So it's not far from us. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you this very hopeful way of, mercy on us. There's no despair in his mercy. So remember, when we are discussing this verse, I don't want us to feel guilty. I want us to feel motivated to do more. Because if I put you in guilt, do we not feel guilty always, already? So there's no place of guilt here. With me, I do not like guilt. I want you to make it an intention to be motivated to do more. Because guilt is temporary. It's an emotion. Emotions are temporary. It will die down. And Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah has taught us. I have understood this from Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman. He says, by giving an example, that when you boil water, when there's a fire under the water, it will bubble and make noises. It will move and make sounds. But as soon as you turn off the stove, what will happen? It will settle down. While you're listening, you're feeling guilty and you want to do this and you want to do that. After a couple hours, you'll forget again. So please don't be guilty. Do not go there. I want us to make intentions. Be motivated to do more. How can I do more? While I'm doing this, how can I become more reflective? How can I think more? How can I do pre-reading, post-reading, and understand? How can I review these Quranic verses? I hope you took the screenshot. If not, let me show it again. Take the screenshot and please review these Quranic verses, because there is no work which you do is wasted. Are you seeing my verses or no?
Ji, yeah.
You are? Okay, wonderful. Okay, I hope you were able to take the screenshots. So these verses are there. Please study. And if you like, we can continue doing study of these verses and then come back to our Farman. So you let me know what would you like to do, because I did change today. But we do need to change. We do need to change and really take interest in Quran. It will not suffice. Let me tell you, request you very humbly, my dear friends, brothers and sisters. It will not suffice. You just listen to lectures. You got to pick up the book, especially Quran. You want to highlight the Quran. And believe me, ek ka sawalat. If you'll highlight one verse, he sees and he will be pleased. Let me share with you. One of our friends shared that she had her Quran and she attended one of the classes with Dr. Saab. Now, Dr. Saab, triple PhD, I mean, he is so learned. And that's why we call him Bahrul Ulum, ocean of knowledge. And this, our friend took Quran and she had tagged the Quran and the Quran was highlighted and they were referring to Quranic words, and she opens the Quran. And when they saw that, the comment they made? Imam is happy with you. What did she do? That Imam is happy with her? Having her Quran tagged and highlighted and studying and be ready and studying Quran? I was so humbled and I was so pleased that she was told, Imam is with you. And guess what? We were discussing among our friends, another friend who knew that she had to tag Quran, but for one reason or other, for years, she did not tag the Quran. She was told she didn't tag the Quran for whatever reason. We are not judging. But can you imagine that she said, I stayed awake nighttime and I tagged my Quran. She had highlighted her Quran, but she had not tagged it. What a motivation it became, just one comment. Imam is happy with you. All of us who are here, do we want Imam to be happy with us? If we want, have we tagged our Quran? Are we opening our Quran? Are there any words now which we understand? Because Imam in Atlanta Farman in Diamond Jubilee asked, what does kul mean? Today we saw the word kul. Say, if you have been studying with us, you do know that our pattern is that we go to Quran, we look at the words. Do you have the treasure of vocabulary from Quran? If you do, I can humbly say Imam is happy with you. Mubarakbad. But it doesn't end here. We should get more motivated to learn more. So Kareem, I'll end here.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Wonderful session again, Niamat Saiba. The new format I find very enlightening, especially linking the ayats of the Quran with Maulana Sultan Shah's Farman. Maybe friends can come forward and give us their views as to what they think. Friends, if you have any questions, comments, reflections, please come forward. While we're waiting for them, I have quite a few questions, but I will see how it goes. So right at the beginning, we were talking about the birth, yeah, or die before you die as such, okay? Mm. And I was wondering, can we look at it from a different perspective to say two births? So the first birth is from the mother's womb into this world, and then we have to be born again. Otherwise, it would be a stillbirth.
Yes.
Just
Oh,
like in the womb. Yeah.
I
So it
understand
would be
what
a
you're saying.
stillbirth. Yes. Mm-hmm. So would you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. So see, I'm sure everybody who's reflecting or who reflects on regular basis will be able to see it in a very many ways, because this was a very open kind of sessions, open for all of us to reflect. We discussed many things actually. So Karim has brought a very important way of thinking, and remember, there is more than one birth. I hope we all know that. So physically we are born by our parents and we came to this world, but there is another birth which has to happen, and that birth is we can achieve that birth when we willfully work for it, and that is a spiritual birth. And beautifully, in the physical world, when we see if a couple has they deliver a baby but it is stillborn, it's not alive. Us being alive in this physical world, we can have stillbirth. What does that mean? How is Karim thinking? What Karim is saying, that when we are in this world and when we are being told about this knowledge, we realize, and then we don't work hard for whatever reason. We are lazy, we like to be living the life of convenience and not conviction, the way Imam has said, and or we are being trapped by worldly life. Whatever is the reason, we will never be born again. We all have to born again. I like, when I was new in this knowledge, I used to copy Christians, because you have Christian friends, and very many Christian friends, they would say, oh, I am a reborn Christian, right? I'm a reborn Christian. And I used to wonder, what do you mean? And I was like, how can I be reborn? And remember, when they talk, they want you to come into Christianity, and being seeker of knowledge, I was asking question, until when you learn this knowledge and you are able to say, I'm a reborn Smiley. What does that mean? I'm not a stillbirth. I'm alive. I'm reborn in this knowledge. I'm a reborn Smiley. I have renewed my Baya. I am alive. That is why you see us doing most of the time, I love this zikr, al-hay, one of the Isma Azam given in the Quran. I love that zikr, because that is the most important zikr, because guess what? There is not only spiritual birth, there is another level of birth which is needed, and that is intellectual birth. Our lives are at 3 levels. We all are born physically, but what about spiritual life? What about intellectual life? And yes, it's spiritual. The birth of the soul is very much connected to intellect, because they work kind of together, intertwined. Physically, we are born. So, stillbirth. How many of us are aware that we are dead? Gyanan reference, man ka janam ratan hai tu kahe ko khota hai. So when Peer says that, Peer is exactly saying that. Why are you stillbirth? Why are you dead? Why are you wasting your janam? Thank you, Karim. That was amazing.
Shukran. Friends, any other questions or comments? I'm sure that after this enthralling 50 minutes, you must have some questions or comments.
Or they are so much into their thoughts that they can't come out.
Yes. Another question, which I think we mentioned about asking for forgiveness, getting Allah's mercy, and then forgetting that and carrying on with our own lives. Can we relate that to the Dua Karavi chanta that we do in Jamaat Khana, and then we carry on and do the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
never intending to change ourselves?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So, being smileys, we are given this opportunity daily. So, Dua Karabi is a reminder. It's a reminder for us to truly seek forgiveness and don't repeat our mistakes. And we live in this world and we get drawn into difficult things, and it is easy because this world is like that. But the beauty of our tariqa is, you go to Jamaat Khana, again when you do dua karawi, you are reminded. You are reminded that there is forgiveness for you. So please seek forgiveness. You made a mistake, it's okay, you're forgiven. Start fresh, new, but do not fall down again. And we work hard, we intend truly with sincerity, and we restart again. So our tariqa is so beautiful, and I love it when you, Kareem, you connected it with ritual, because we have talked about these rituals, and new friends keep coming, and we share old lectures with them. So I don't go into repeating the whole process again, because it's high time that we have to come above that. The actions which we've been doing rituals repeatedly, we do not need to remain at that level. We really have to graduate ourselves from the shariat of our tariqa to reach into the hakikat, the meaning of it. When we've understood it, then take advantage of that hakiki rituals with meaning when you do it, and get benefit out of it. Instead of just repeating and repeating and repeating, we need to go further in the knowledge, push ourselves to go to the advanced levels so we can learn high level of learning, and that is book studies. Believe it or not, that is book studies. You will have repetition and you will be able to strengthen your basic concepts.
And the last comment I have is, I found it very interesting when towards the end of the session you mentioned that blindness of the back is about history, and that relates back to Maulana Hazar Imam's Farman of learn about your history. Yeah, so obviously the importance of learning history. There is a question in the chat from Salma Saiba. Why it bothers us when people do wrong things, especially leaders in Jamaat Khana? Is it a disease we should ignore?
Beautiful question, Salma. Beautiful question, and I have different levels of answers. Number one, it should bother us. It should bother if they do wrong. It should bother us because we are part of the Jamaat, and it is our duty to make them accountable. So it is good to tell them that I do not agree with your attitude or what you are doing, and here is the reference from Quran, Farman, Ginan, and I don't agree with you. And you need to do better, because if you are sitting on the path, you do need to do better. No, we should not ignore. I don't agree with that. But at the same time, we have to be very, very, very humble, because when you come to the knowledge, you are able to understand where the wrong is being done. You are able to learn and understand the truth, and it hurts when you see wrong things are being done. It does hurt you. So the action which you have to take, if you are the witness to that action, you have to stand up and let them know, the primary person, the person who is doing it wrong. Do not be talking to here and there. That is backbiting. Please do not indulge in that. You must go and tell them that you're accountable for your action and this is wrong what you are doing. And if they don't listen to you, there is a hierarchy. You go higher than that and higher than that, but do not share your frustration, your negativity, your ill feeling with others, because you will put yourself and your soul down, because remember, when we are telling them, it has to be humbly, with the kindest attitude. They are our elders and they are chosen to sit on the path. So we do it very kindly, very nicely. And remember, when you have told them nicely, it is up to them to listen or not. You did your due diligence. And then you can be quiet. If you cannot go higher, then higher. And if, let's say you've gone higher, if they don't do anything, you can report, continue to report repeatedly, but do not have any ill feelings in the heart. Because when you say disease, yes, it can become a disease because you become self-righteous. Oh, I know better than you, and I can tell you what you're doing the wrong. That is no. That is not the attitude of a seeker, attitude of a Mu'min. Mu'min respects no matter what. Remember our Prophet, who is for us a role model. Woman's throwing kachra, trash on her every day, and he seeks to take care of her when she didn't do that, right? So our attitude matters the most, number one. No judgment in our heart. Because remember, Mola knows it all. Do not think Mola is not. We just read this in Quran. He sees it all. Have that firm belief. So he sees me, I see wrong, so I report, I inform, and I tell them I did my work. And that is it. Then pray to Mola, Mola, change his heart. Ya Mukallibal Qulub, call him, do the zikr. And if his heart changes, Alhamdulillah. But remember, I want to tell you one very important term from Quran, because you use the word disease, because that tells me that you are suffering. That is suffering because you cannot ignore, probably not taking action, or when you take action, you don't do it right. I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just sharing. When you said disease, because it hurts to the extent that it has become a wound, a sore, a disease. A moment should not go there. Yes, it hurts. I understand, right? When you hurt, you pray more. Do not let it make disease, because disease is from shaitan. A mu'min is a healed person. So I want to tell you one more term from Quran which should increase your faith in Imam, and that is khairul makirin. In Quran, Khuda says that he is khairul makirin. In English, Ali Allah Madad Farman. So khair is goodness. He does goodness. What would be the word for makar? With deception. I think so. I'm not 100% sure about the English translation. Those who are quick looker in the Quran can find and help me out if you can. Khairul makirin. The word khair means goodness. Makirin is makar karne wala, deception, right? And Allah says that He is khairul makirin. He brings care by doing makar. What does that mean? It means, I'll give you an example. There are people, let's say, we are talking about Amal Daran who are sitting on the seats and they are probably doing something wrong. I don't know what they are doing wrong. And let's say they are doing something wrong. And if they've done wrong and we come to know about it, and their intention was to hide something or to do wrong or to whatever, to control whatever they were doing, it was negative action. In our view, it was a negative action. Because of their negative action, there were people who became curious. In the group of Amal Daran, they were trying to hide. There were some Amal Daran. They said, why are they hiding? I want to find out. Deceiver, right? Thank you. Makirin is deceiver. So they became curious, and because of their curiosity, they found the truth. So what I'm saying in my very, limited example, that there are times that he does good in the result of people doing bad to him. And that is why, because we don't understand his games. We really don't. What he's doing, one of the name is, his name is Musabbibul Asbab, that he is the causer of the cause. So whatever happens in our eyes, it is wrong, and we take action, tell them, and be done with it, because we don't know what will be the reaction of their wrong action. Only he knows. What if he will do something differently? Let's not judge anybody, because we want to protect our soul and our earning. We saw it wrong, we told them, and that is it. So I hope, Salma, that helps. the best of planner. Musabib al-Asbab, the best of planner. Carol Marketing, the best of planner. All these are related, names of God for us to have that understanding. That don't think he's not seeing all those who are doing wrong. Oh, he's watching and he's waiting. He's giving them chance to do better. And if they don't take that chance, because his mercy is there, accounts will be taken.
Friends, any other questions or comments before we close the session?
Hi, can I ask a question, please?
Ji.
You used an analogy about stillbirth. Like if we don't really try and elevate ourselves, we are like stillborn. But what about those souls which are actually stillborn? What would you say about that? I mean,
Good question.
Where would they go?
Yeah. So I see your name, Azim. Thank you, Azim, for asking beautiful question. Those souls actually do come to this world as a test and a reminder. Reminder that this reality exists in our world. If we never had a stillbirth, babies, we would not be able to take this example and apply it onto us. So it is a reminder for us that that can also be the outcome. Every delivery, every pregnancy does not end in normal child birth, right? Meaning that every life which comes to the physical world will not result in a live person, meaning our spiritually, intellectually, we are taking that understanding. Physically, a child when born as a rebirth, stillbirth, so we understand it is a learning and it is a test for the parents, for the family members, all those who are around, that they remain patient and understand that he had chosen that couple to become the reason of a teaching for the whole humanity. So today we give credit to those couples who went through this sorrow, this pain that they had stillbirth. But because of their sacrifice, today we are learning that this example exists for us in spiritual life as well, and we can learn from that example. If those parents were not chosen to give this opportunity to have stillbirth, to go through that pain, how would we learn today? The soul which was stillbirth, which was that child, it was a limited contract. They are the most happy ones. They took upon themselves to be in the womb of a mother, to become hope for the parents, and parents were excited and happy. And they said, they had come for their soul. That was their lifetime, and they're gone. Because remember, for the soul to go back to him is a day of Eid, is a day of happiness. So that soul is very happy. Yes, it is hard for the couples or parents who went through that experience. But Imam chooses us. We don't know what is he choosing us for. But believe me, if we understand this knowledge, then we would be grateful. So today, we are truly offering our gratitude to all parents who went through this pain, because they became the reason for our teaching and learning and applying it on ourselves. So, Alhamdulillah, Mubarakbad, that you were given this khidmat. Very hard, very difficult khidmat. But tell me, which khidmat is easy if you do it with complete sincerity? I hope, Azim, that helps. If not, please ask.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it does. Yeah, thank you.
Shukran. So he's best of planner. My friends are telling me he's the best of, Allah is the best of planner. So Azim, again, this is also applicable to stillbirth. We don't know, but he is the best of planners. And our test is to remain in gratitude that Mola, you know what is best for us. We don't actually, we don't. With this knowledge, we learn what is good for us and we do that.
Thank you, Niamat Saiba, for a wonderful session. Thank you, friends, for joining. And inshallah, we'll meet again next Saturday to continue with Farman 40. Thank you, and Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, thank you.
Yali
Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad.
Yali Madad, and thank you. Lovely session.
Shukran, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Yali Madad.